Good morning. Welcome to the online classes on IoT, that is Internet of Things. So today we'll speak about the second part of the sensor participatory sensing, RFIDs and wireless sensor network. So while coming to here, in this particular the second video of this particular chapter, we are going to speak about the participatory sensing, RFID, and the wireless sensor network, that is WSN. So first one is participatory sensing. So while coming to the participatory sensor, it can be also shortened as PS. So what do you mean by participatory sensing? So, sensing by the individuals and groups of people contributing sensory information is called as participatory sensing. So, participatory sensing, that is PS, is a process whereby individuals and communities use the ever more capable mobile phones and the cloud services to collect and analyze the systematic data. So here the individual and the community, they will sense the data or they will collect the data and they will provide the data for the analyzing purpose. So this is be used in discovery of the new facts. It is very helpful. So this is one of the diagram of the uh, participatory sensing. So if you notice here, it mainly has around 6 phases. So phase 1, that is coordination. Phase 2 is related to the data capturing. Phase 3, again you are going to store the data. Stage 4 or the phase 4 is the data processing. Then phase 5 is analytics and data visualization. Phase 6, application and services. So phase 1 is the coordination. So while coming to the coordination, what you are going to do here is you will be the participants, that is the individual or the community, right? So or you can say community, you can say it as a group also. So here the participant of the participatory sensing, that is PS process, will organize after identifying the sources. So here what you're going to do here, that is participant of the PS process, that is a participatory sensing process, will organize after identifying the sources. So they are going to organize them. What it is going to organize them? It is going to organize and identify the different sources. So what is source there? From where you can get your data. So while coming to the phase 2 and phase 3, so you mainly have data capturing and data storing. So you are collecting the data from them, so that is data capturing. So what is happening there? Afterwards, what are you going to do? Afterwards, you are going to store the particular data which you got from the different sensors in the storage devices. So since you are getting a huge amount of data, you will be storing them on the servers or on the cloud. So if you notice the phase 4 and the phase 5, so here the main processing, analytics and the visualization or the knowledge discovery is done here. So here you'll be in the phase 4, you'll be mainly processing the data. So processing the data for the correct format, you are removing the unwanted things and those things. While coming to the phase 5, using the data that is available for you, you are applying the analytics on them, and you are trying to draw the solution. So you are trying to draw the conclusion and the solution there. So next you will be going on to the knowledge discovery, where you come into the new facts, new materials, and you will be also coming into the new solution for the problem. In the phase 6, you are initiating the appropriate actions. That means you are applying the knowledge which you got on the uh, business or on the services. So you are applying that. So here, while coming to the how they are collected, so if we say about individual data, we can collect it from the communication file data. We have the waste collection data, these things. While coming to the group collector, we have the traffic lights sending traffic density and the parking availability data. Automobiles communicating traffic density at the different locations. While coming to the social sites data, we have the Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, these things are there. So let us see about the some of the applications of the participatory sensing, where you can see that. So first and foremost thing, we can apply them in the retrieving the information of individual and a group of people. When you want to retrieve the information of the individual and the group of people, you can implement that. Plus, you want to have the weather information, environment information, or the pollution information, and you want the information for the waste management, road force, health, traffic, congestion, urban mobility, disaster management, like flood, fire, or any health issues. So you can apply them in the different places. So now we have seen the applications. So let us see the challenges. So the main challenges of the participatory sensing is security, privacy, reputation, and effective incentives to the participating entities. So you have to give incentives, that is you want to provide something, right? You want to provide something or some benefit to the participant, right? Whether it may be individual or whether it may be group, because from them you are going to get the data, right? So you want to provide the very useful incentives to them, or you can say you want to provide the reward to them, something like that. So the main thing is you have to have the security, privacy, and the reputation, and plus you should also provide the effective incentives to the participating entities. So here, the main thing about the participatory sensing is you are going to have the individual and the groups. So by using the individual and the groups, you are going to collect the data. Next is Industrial Internet of Things, that is IIoT. So while coming to the industrial Internet of Things, the use of the IoT technology is in the manufacturing. We can see the main users of the IoT in the manufacturing industry there. So here the integration of the complex physical machinery or machine to machine communication with the network devices, use of the software analytics, machine learning, and knowledge discovery can be seen here. So some of the examples of the IIoT is refining the operation for manufacturing and maintenance purpose, refining the business model of an industry, railways track maintenance, mining, agriculture, oil and gas, utilities, transportation, logistics, healthcare services. So here it is mainly responsible for all the manufacturing and the maintenance. Wherever you are going to have the manufacturing or the maintenance industries are there, that time we are going to come into the IIoT. Now IIoT is mainly used because we cannot have the manual. IoT is mainly used because in some places, like complex physical machinery, we cannot have the manual help there. We cannot have the support of the person, or we cannot have the support of the manual support that cannot be available in certain conditions, or we are unable to make use of the human being in those particular places. So here the communication between them or sending of the signals, everything is done by the IIoT. So automotive IoT. So automotive IoT is mainly used in enabling the connected cars, vehicle to infrastructure technologies, predictive and preventive maintenance of the autonomous car. So next is connected cars technologies with the combination of GPS and tracking environment. So here the automotive vehicles driving through the roads with little or no efforts at all. So here the display for the driver will enable the drive through to the shortest route or through the congested. It will help you to avoid the congested route here. So here the for the vehicle you are applying or you are having the GPS system and the internet. Because of that, it is going to show the possibility of the shortest route and the congested route, so that you can avoid the congested route there. So by coming to the customization of the functioning of the vehicles can be also done depending on the driver's needs and the preferences. So while coming to here, what are the things we can have? We can get the notification about the traffic, protecting the cars against the theft, weather and en route destination, keeping the tab on the driver's health and also on the behavior. Next is vehicle to infrastructure technologies. So while coming to the vehicles to infrastructure technologies, it is going to make use of alert and warnings for forward communication, information of the blind spot. Blind spot is a where you cannot see properly, right? For example, back of the vehicle, or that is car or anything, or let us say that corner of the particular vehicle where we cannot see that, right? So it is going to provide you the information about from the of the blind spot, also notification about the vacant parking spaces. Then it is going to provide the information of the congested traffic and route and destination, stream live music and listen to the latest news also. So next is automotive IoT technology. So while coming to the automotive IoT technology, it is mainly useful in predictive maintenance of the automobile by the service center application here. So here the it is going to sense the data communicates in real time or stores and transmits when the automobile reaches the Wi-Fi node here. So what is going to happen here? It is going to send the data regarding the automobile vehicle. Okay, the automobile vehicle will send the data regarding itself, that is regarding the automobile vehicle in real time. Okay, that is when you have the proper internet connection. Let us say that you don't have the proper internet connection, then what it is going to do? It is going to store the data with itself. Then when it comes under the Wi-Fi node, that time it is going to send the data. So here this is mainly used for the maintenance purpose, so that you can prevent any damages or you can prevent the accidents. So here the service center application schedules the maintenance alerts and predicts the failure and alerts for the action. So if anything is going to fail, then it is only going to tell first one that this is going to fail. So please make the service on this particular item. So this is the simple diagram of IoT phase for phases for predictive and preventive maintenance by the service center. So here, if you notice here, the different points are connected to the sensors here, right? You have the axle movement sensor there, engine control sensor, brake system sensors, wipers, window screen movement, air conditioning. So everything is connected here. So that will be sent on the internet and it will be stored in the cloud or the server. Then it is going to be analyzed and visualized. Then you are going to get the knowledge discovery. That means you are going to get the data. After that, you are going to apply them on the application or the service. So what is the main application? So predict and prevent or schedule the maintenance, right? So predict and prevent the accidents, right? So that's the main goal here. So everything is connected to here, and this is going to pass the news to here. So next we have the autonomous cars, that is driverless cars, right? Which can be also called as robotic car or the autonomous car. So it is mainly done by the help of the LiDAR and laser 3D imaging technology. So while coming to next one, we will see about the actuators. So what do you mean by actuators or why it is required, right? So the device is going to take the action. So actuator is going to take the action, right? So the one who performs the action is the actuator. So depending on the input, right? The input that it got. So here the input it got, it will be like 0 or 1 here. So for ones, I'll be setting the control signal, and for the 0, I'm setting different control signal. So here the you can have the attached motor can be present. You can have the speaker. You can have the LED or an output device that is going to convert the electrical energy into the physical energy. So it is going to convert the electrical energy to physical energy also. Then you have the LED. So an actuator which emits the light or infrared radiations is LED there. So it is going to use the different colors of LEDs. So intensity variations of the LEDs, lights and colors, graphics and text, which can be used in those particular places also. Now let us speak about some of the actions of the LED there. So it will be mainly used for controlled using of the inputs, that is RGB. LEDs are used for the controlled using of the inputs. Next you have the pulse width modulated pulses control, the LED light emission intensity. So next is you have the microcontroller generating PWM outputs. So different actuators we have from the light sources, LEDs, piezoelectric vibrators and sounders, speakers, solenoids and servo motor. So first one is relay switcher. So switching on a set of street lights. So actuators is a relay switch is used here. So here it is mainly used for switching on a set of street lights. So applications is on the brakes of a moving vehicle. So ringing an alarm bell, switching off or on the heater, the air conditioner, boiler, current in the steam boiler in the thermal plant. Next is piezoelectric vibrator. and a speaker here. So here the piezoelectric crystals, when applied varying electric voltage at input, is going to generate the vibration. So piezoelectric crystals, when we give the electric voltage, so it is going to generate the different vibrations here. That is, piezoelectric speakers will enable the synthesized music tunes and sounds. So it is going to synthesize the musics and sounds. The appropriately programmed pulses is going to generate music, sound, buzzer and alarms. So next is solenoid. So solenoid is an actuator consisting of number of cylindrically wood coils here. So the flow of current creates the magnetic field in the proportion to the number of turns in the solenoid and the current in it here. So here it can also create the sharp forward push, backward push. Operations can be created here, repeated to and from. Motion of an assembly inside the solution can be also created. Next we have the motor here. It can be making use of the direct current or the alternate current also. The input output modules readily available to receive the controlled digital inputs of zeros and ones and deliver high current contents and currents. The DC or AC is going to rotate the motor. The cam will convert the rotator motions into the linear motions when the motor is going to rotate. In the previous slide, we have spoken about the relay switch here. So let us see what you mean by relay switch. An electric switch that can be controlled by input 1 or 0 from the port pin of the microcontroller. So an electronic switch that can be controlled by zeros and ones there from the port pin, from the help of the port pin in the microcontroller. The relay switch takes the mechanical contact when input the circuit magnetization with a control circuit and pulls the lever to make the contact. Thank you.